All right, let's talk about adding some furry friends to your backyard adventures. Today, we're diving into the Cats and Dogs expansion for the awesome deck building game Fort. We're going to break down exactly how these pets shake up your strategy, so let's get right into it.
You gotta love the theme here, right? So this expansion gives you two different modules, cats and dogs. Now you can play with just one, or if you're feeling a little wild, you can toss them both in for some truly chaotic fun. Let's dig into how each of them works, and we're gonna start with man's best friend.
Okay, first up, the dogs. Now, these aren't just some extra cards you might see later on. Nope. You shuffle these guys right into your deck at the very start of the game. And trust me, it completely changes how you play from turn one. Your whole setup is different right away. Instead of your usual 8 kid cards to start, you're going to get a mix, 5 kid cards and 3 of these new dog cards. You still add your 2 trusty best friends, of course, but your starting 10-card deck is now full of this awesome canine chaos from the jump. So how do you actually play a dog card? Well, it's not quite as simple as playing a kid. See, every dog has a specific need that you have to fulfill. This could be something like adding a card with a matching suit from your hand, or maybe discarding a resource. You've got to take care of your pet before you can get its powerful action. And this is absolutely crucial. Dogs are not just kids with floppy ears. They break some pretty fundamental rules. First off, when you play a dog's action, nobody else can follow it. That action is all yours. Second, you can never trash a dog or stick it in your lookout. The rulebook even says no animal cruelty, which is just great. And finally, and this is a big one, any dog you don't use and leave in your yard, well, it just might wander off. Wandering off, what does that mean? Okay, get this. At the start of your turn, you look at your yard. Any dog that's sitting there gets immediately handed over to the player on your left. They just put it right into their discard pile. This creates this fantastic new tension where you have to use your dogs, otherwise you are literally just handing powerful cards over to your opponent. Now, when you do successfully play a dog and get its action, it doesn't just go to your discard pile like a normal card. Instead, you get to tuck it under your personal doghouse board. This is how you collect dogs all game, and you're building towards a pretty big endgame bonus. And here it is, the payoff. At the end of the game, whoever has collected the most dogs gets a huge 7-point bonus. And what if there's a tie? Well, in a perfect thematic touch, every single player in the tie gets the full 7 points. Because as the rules say, the dogs are so friendly. How great is that? All right, so that's dogs. Now let's talk about the cats. And if dogs are these loyal members of your crew, cats are, well, they're cats. They work completely differently. You're never going to have a cat card in your hand, or in your deck, or in your discard pile. They operate on a whole other level. So how in the world do they work? Cats don't have suits, and they exist totally outside the normal flow of cards. What they do is give you these really strong ongoing abilities for as long as they're hanging out in your play area. You never really own a cat, they're just attracted to what you're doing. And that means they can be just as easily lured away by someone else. Here's the core mechanic for the cats. At the end of every single player's turn, you check to see if you meet a cat's unique attraction condition. If you do, that cat token moves over to your play area. And yes, that means you can absolutely steal a cat right from another player if your board suddenly meets its fickle little demands. Let's look at a few of them. You've got Bandit here, who's attracted by book suit cards in your yard and lets you swipe resources. Then there's Dumpling, who likes a crowded yard but, funnily enough, makes your coin actions more expensive. And my personal favorite might be Jitters, who's attracted to an empty yard and gives you a point whenever no one follows your action. Each cat really pushes you toward a totally different strategy. Okay, so we know how to get dogs and attract cats, but how do they actually win you the game? Let's talk final scoring and see how these furry friends can rack up the points for you. So unlike that all-or-nothing race for the dogs, cats score on this really cool escalating scale. The more cats you have at the end of the game, the more points they're worth. See, one cat is just a single point, but if you can manage to keep 4 of them around your fort, that's a massive 10-point bonus. It makes fighting over them a huge part of the game. This really lays out the 2 different strategic paths, doesn't it? The dog strategy is a race for the majority. You either have the most and get that sweet 7 points, or you get nothing. The cat strategy, on the other hand, is this incremental game of collecting, where every single cat you add is worth more than the last, but you have to fight to keep them every single turn. So, as you can see, the Cats and Dogs expansion is so much more than just cute animals. It introduces two totally distinct modules that create entirely new ways to win. It forces you into new decisions and adds this fantastic layer of player interaction, whether it's your dog wandering over to an opponent or you luring their favorite cat away with a better offer.
The only question left is, which path are you going to choose? Are you going to focus on the loyalty of dogs for that big 7-point prize? Or are you going to try to herd those fickle but super valuable cats? Or hey, maybe you'll try to become the ultimate master of pets and go for both. The choice is all yours. Thanks for tuning in.